Hello lovely butterflies, it's France. Welcome to this Journal Monday, week 145. I'm working in my Journal Monday art journal, and because in my previous page I made some openings which I covered up with these little square pieces of paper, I need to make sure that those are sealed, so I'm using some gesso to do that. Making sure that it's going in all the nooks and creases to make sure that nothing can get through once I start working with water and paint and what's not. I'm going to use some kitchen wool as a stencil, or as a mask in this case. So I'm covering up the parts that I do not want to have anything on. And I'm using some washi tape to make sure that this one will stay in place. Now I can go in with some modeling paste, and I'm also using my rock formation stencil, the small version of it. So I'm just applying some modeling paste on the not covered parts of the spread. Once it's dry, I'm coming in with Tangucho paper, which I'm going to stick down using matte medium. And I'm only going to stick it down on the parts where I have modeling paste. To make it easier to take the excess off, I'm applying a little bit of water on the line where I want it to rip, and this way I can very easily just rip the paper exactly where I want to have it ripped. To add color, I'm using my Inktense blocks, and to make sure that I have the color that I do want to use, I'm doing a little test on the side. And once I've picked my 3 colors, the 3 shades of blue that I want to mix, I'm using the flat side of the Inktense blocks, and I'm just scraping them alongside the texture that I have going on. Adding water to it, I can turn the Inktense color in paint, in actual paint, and it will be water resistant once dried. I'm adding some more just to intensify the differences in texture here and there. To add contrast, I'm going in with the premium acrylic from Deco Art, just dabbing them on, again, only on the texturized part of the spread. Just because I feel like using them, I'm taking out my watercolors, and because I still have some of that white Tengucho paper at the top, I'm going to play around with the watercolors to colorize that. For my next step, I took out the Inktense pencils this time, so these are water soluble as well, and my large circle stencil. I want to push all that blue to the back a little bit, so I took out a bit of white fluid acrylic, which I'm going to water down because it's a bit too dry, and then I'm going to use it to create drippage alongside the paper. To accentuate the circles, I went back in with a Unipen pen and my large circle stencil, and I have to admit that I'm pretty amazed by what this pen can take. So this is a fine liner, so it has a really fine tip, and despite all the texture that I have going on and all the paint that I have on my spread, the pen worked perfectly all over it. These are leftovers from a previous page, and I thought they would look cool on this spread. So they still have a little bit of that sticky back that I sprayed on them for the other spread that I made. But they will need some glue as well. But I do want to reuse them on this page. And now I can retrace them using that same Unipin pen. I took out a couple of stamps from my Perfect Words Illusionary Artist stamp set, and I'm just stamping them using archival ink. So the first one is just for the background, and then the second one will be the wording for my spread, which says Soulsearch. And that little word needs some more stamping as well. So I took out this stamp from my London, New York stamp set and some distress ink, just to add a little something to it. My little word needs some help to pop from the background, so I took out a piece of cambric, which I'm colorizing with some fluid acrylic, and it's the same color that appears on those little circles that I re-added to the spread. And just because I like the pop of that color on that spread, I'm also adding some splatters using that same color. Before sticking all of that down, I'm going to add my journaling around that circle, because that is something that I like to do, and just because I can. And that's it for today's spread. If you like today's spread, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want more of this, there's much more on my Patreon page, where there are the Patreon edition of the Journal on Monday videos, where I give you much more insight and much more details about what is going on and why I'm doing things in what way. We also have weekly hangouts for you to enjoy. So I'll link my Patreon page in the description of the video, as well as the products that I used that are available on my web shop. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time. Ta-da!